this very still sick edition of Off the Script, I got news on Brock Lesnar. He's suspended from the UFC, fined $250,000 for whatever happened at UFC 200. We're going to talk about it today on Off the Script. Also, Zack Ryder to undergo surgery after suffering a knee injury. How long will the hype bro himself be out of action on Smackdown Live? Also, major update on Paige following her end of wellness policy suspension. She is finally off suspension. What does this mean for Paige and her return to the WWE? Chris Hero already passed his medical testing for WWE. Is his return now confirmed? I got news on that as well. And finally, Chyna, the cause of death finally revealed after Chyna's autopsy this week. All this, plus so much more, right here on Off the Script.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
You know, I figured as I would get on later into the week, I would feel a little bit better. And I want to apologize for everybody that Off the Script is not uploaded at all at 11 a.m. on Saturday. I don't feel good, man. I really don't. I got home from work last night and, well, yesterday afternoon I got home from work. I got home around 5 o'clock. And I passed out. I passed out till 8. I was supposed to stream WWE 2K17, Raw, GCW. That didn't happen. So now I got to do double duty on Sunday with a go-home show and Roadblock because it's my time to have my pay-per-view. And I didn't even record Off the Script. I usually do it, the day before, that afternoon. And I get it ready for you guys. It goes live on Patreon early. I didn't do any of that, man. I slept right through the night. I took fucking medication, this cold and flu fucking Alka-Seltzer that I've been taking to just try and make me feel better. This tea, soup. I don't know what else to do, man. I really don't. Hopefully this is the last legs of this fucking illness that I got from work. People want to come into fucking work and then bestow it upon me to get fucking sick. Now everybody else at work is feeling better and I'm the fucking asshole, the only asshole who's still sick. And I got more important things to do than everybody else while they're selling jewelry to the old blue-haired fucking cunt, I don't want to be doing none of that shit, man. I'm here. This is important to me. And especially tonight, me and Mr. Matthew Ryan Shapiro, we're leading the Great War. We are the voices for the Great War. Hopefully I have a fucking voice by the end of the night. Because whether I'm sick or not, I'm going to fucking give my blood, sweat, and tears to that fucking show tonight, man. So fuck that. So I'll be at House of Glory tonight. And it's going to be from the NYC Center in Jamaica, New York. It's going to be fucking big, man. It's their 60th anniversary show. Matt Hardy versus the Dudleys. It's like a fatal four-way fucking tag team title match. It's going to be unbelievable, man. We got Eddie Edwards is going to be there. He's going one-on-one with Anthony Gangone, House of Glory champion. We got a bunch of other shit, man. It's going to be a huge fucking show. And it's something that you should not miss. If you're in the area, if you're in the New York area, Brooklyn, Queens, you want something to do on a Saturday night. I know it fucking snowed last night. And it was fucking crazy here. Come on out, man. It's going to be a good time. So just letting you guys know about that. I believe tickets are $20. And I'm going to be there. If you want to meet and greet and you want to fucking hang out with me before the show, Matt Hardy's going to be there. It's going to be a fucking massive deletion here in Queens, New York, man. So make sure you guys come out if you can and you are in the area. Now, let's get on with the news, man. I want to talk about this situation first here. Brock Lesnar. Everybody's asking me, JD, what do you think about Brock Lesnar being suspended for 1 year from the UFC. He was fined $250,000. What do I think about it? We expected it. We knew it was coming. Okay? Brock Lesnar fucked up. And that's all there is to it. But if you think this is going to have an effect on what happens with his WWE go-around, absolutely not. They don't fucking care. WWE is paying him $6 million a year. They're not going to let one little fucking error on his part ruin the relationship that they have with him. They're paying him, they're going to utilize him, they're going to use him, and they're going to fucking get the most that they can out of him. When and if he signs again with the WWE when his contract is up, maybe he makes less money. Maybe they don't sign him for as much as they did the first two go-arounds. So, Brock Lesnar is going to be just fine within the WWE walls. Dana White, he's going to bring Brock Lesnar back after the 1 year suspension is over because Brock Lesnar makes Dana White money. Brock Lesnar is a money-making machine. No matter what happens, people will still bitch, moan, complain about Brock Lesnar. But the underlying factor is, no matter how much you fucking hate this man's guts, or don't want him in your UFC promotions, or this guy is a WWE guy, he's a jacked up steroid freak who wrestles a fake sport, whatever the fuck your excuse you're going to come up with. Lesnar is always going to grab your attention because he's Brock Lesnar. And Dana White knows that. Dana White knows he's going to make money. Dana White knows he's going to sell pay-per-views. So after the 1 year suspension is over, Brock Lesnar's going to learn a very hard lesson. He wanted to get back into the UFC again. He's going to have to wait now. Not till next November. December is he going to come back to the UFC. So whenever this is over with, he will be back. Because that's what Lesnar wants to do. And they overturned his decision against Mark Hunt. Who gives a shit? Oh, JD, it's now a draw. Who gives a shit? It's a draw. No, it ain't. We seen on that night what Lesnar did. Mark Hunt didn't stand a chance. Guy got fucking destroyed. So no matter what you guys want to say about Brock Lesnar, he went in there, you know, don't give a fuck what he was on, because it's Brock Lesnar. He's looked the same for years. I don't give a shit what and I don't even think he was on. He was on steroids. It's a known thing. People know Brock Lesnar's on steroids. He was on drugs to help it get out of his system before UFC 200. And he got caught. He got caught. He wasn't doing steroids and injecting himself to fucking become the Incredible Hulk before UFC 200. No. Lesnar was on it. He's like, fuck, I didn't have enough time. Let me flush that out of my system. He took the steps needed to just get it out of his system, and he got caught with shit in his system. He got caught with substances in his system that are not legal for the athletes to take because it's an underlying thing that he was on it. And they don't want any traces of it. They don't want any traces of it whatsoever. He got caught. He's going to learn a lesson. But that doesn't mean he wasn't going to kick Mark Hunt's ass anyway. You know? So, Lesnar, even though the decision got overturned, he still won. In everybody's eyes, he still won. This is just nothing to fucking keep the fucking hounds at bay, to shut Mark Hunt up because he went on a fucking rant, overturned the decision, this and that. This is nothing but a politically correct fucking decision here by everybody involved. Lesnar, you know, is now a draw with Mark Hunt. Sure. He got suspended for 1 year and fined $250,000. But this is the official story here that I'm going to read to you. But my opinion on it, I don't fucking care. It's not going to have any effect on Lesnar's well-being in the WWE. Lesnar will be back in the UFC with Dana White. It's just a 1 year vacation. That's all it is. It's a mistake he made. He's going to learn his lesson. He's going to be better prepared next time. And he's going to go right back to making his money. That's it. And he's going to go right back to selling pay-per-views for Dana White. This is nothing but a 1 year vacation for Brock Lesnar. He is going to have more than enough to keep himself occupied with. So don't worry about what Brock Lesnar is doing. Brock Lesnar is one of the most dominant forces in all of professional fighting, but he isn't immune to all the rules. It has now been revealed that Lesnar failed not one but two U.S. Anti-Doping Association drug tests during his return to MMA fighting for UFC 200. Due to those failed tests, Lesnar must pay a fine of $250,000, which people are saying is not even a slap on the wrist, man. It's absolutely nothing. It should have been more. and a 1-year suspension that was handed down by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The news broke on Thursday afternoon, and CBS Sports reports that Lesnar isn't the only one who was given a suspension. There are accusations that come Lesnar's way earlier this year, but vehemently denied them and said that he had not taken any banned substances and not failed any drug tests. It appears that those denials were unfounded. According to CBS Sports, Jon Jones will also serve a 1-year suspension after reaching a settlement agreement with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Jones was pulled from UFC 200 earlier this year due to a failed drug test, and it has taken his time to come up with the appropriate punishment. MMA Junkie is reporting that Brock Lesnar, Jon Jones, Nate Diaz all reached settlement agreements with the Nevada State Athletic Commission a couple of days ago. After those agreements had been made, a hearing needed to take place to officially announce the fines and suspensions would be given out to each fighter. On June 28, 2016, Lesnar had the first drug test conducted out of competition. He had another drug test in competition conducted on July 9th, which was the day of his UFC 200 fight with Mark Hunt. Lesnar won the match by unanimous decision, but the decision now has been changed and ruled a no contest. It was possible that Brock Lesnar and Jon Jones could have ended up facing 2-year bans from the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the USADA, but the agreement knocked it down. Lesnar originally denied taking any banned substances when Hunt accused him of it earlier this year. As of now, the exact banned substance that Lesnar tested positive for has yet to be revealed to the public. It is his right to keep that information confidential. The same can be said about Jon Jones, even though he said he could not pronounce the name of the substance for which he tested positive. Brock Lesnar's return to MMA and UFC was seen as a one-time thing, as he is under contract to WWE and preparing for another year in the ring. There has always been the idea that Lesnar could return to UFC after his contract with WWE was up, but now that seems like it won't happen due to the suspension. For now, Lesnar is going to continue in WWE as he's set to wrestle at the Royal Rumble in January and likely going to be a huge part of WrestleMania 33 in April. The official website for WWE Live Events does have him scheduled to appear at a few events in March as well, and that is the big build-up for WrestleMania each year. There has been no word from WWE yet as to whether or not his UFC suspension for failed drug tests will cause any issues with Brock Lesnar's stance in the company. It has become evident over the past decade that WWE has a no-tolerance attitude when it comes to breaking the company's wellness policy. At this time, Lesnar is scheduled to appear and wrestle at the Royal Rumble in January, when he will likely face Bill Goldberg again. Just consider his loss to Bill Goldberg in 1 minute punishment for Lesnar. If you want to just go about that and consider that punishment, let it be. Lesnar's not going to be punished in WWE. You know, WWE has made it very clear that if you're a part-time guy, that you're not going to be really treated like everybody else. They treat their part-timers better than their full-time guys. The Rock can come in. The Rock is on something too. For all the fucking shit that he's doing, movies and, you know, living that Hollywood life, the Rock is on something to stay in that tip-top shape, you know? So he comes in, and each and every fucking time he looks bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you're going to zing Lesnar, you got to zing The Rock, and then you got to zing Cena, and you got to zing all these other fucking guys that come on in. They're not going to do that. WWE's here to make money, you know? And it's a very political-driven company, man. A lot of shit behind the scenes happens that a lot of people do not agree with. So Lesnar in WWE is not going to be, he's not going to be treated any differently. You know, this was a big event. UFC is not the WWE, and WWE is not the UFC. They handle things differently. We all know WWE's wellness policy has really taken a stance as of late, but compared to the UFC, it's not even in the same league. It's not even in the same league. Lesnar, he'll be back after 1 year. He's still with the WWE, so him fighting in the UFC really should be of no concern to anybody, including Lesnar. You know, this was a one-time thing. Vince let him do it. UFC welcomed him. Cross-promotion happened for SummerSlam, and it is what it is. It is what it is, man. So, just look at it this way. Lesnar, WWE, he'll be fine. 1 year, $250,000. He's going to be away from UFC. treat it like as if he was not even in the UFC anyway. He wasn't going to be fighting regardless. So he went into UFC 200, proved that he could still do it, fucked up Mark Hunt. He made a little mistake. He got fined. He got suspended. He's going to be away for a year. He'll be back. You know, whether or not he's under WWE contract or not, he will be back. You know? And whether you look at it or not, it doesn't fucking matter. Whatever pay-per-view Brock Lesnar is on, if he goes back to the UFC, 10 times out of 10, you're going to watch it. So it doesn't make any fucking difference what Lesnar does. You can have your fucking opinion. You can voice your hatred for him. Doesn't matter. In the end, you are going to watch whatever he's doing anyway. Simple as that. Lesnar will be back. Speaking of be back, Zack Ryder won't be back for a very long time. He might be out all of 2017. As it turned out, Zack Ryder on Tuesday night's episode of Smackdown Live was a bittersweet one. As a winner of a tag team battle royal that night, he had won the Hype Bros a chance at the Wyatt family's tag team titles, giving him and Mojo Rawley the highest profile match so far in their short run as a tag team on SmackDown Live. Sources reported this week Ryder had injured his knee in the battle royal and was in so much pain he was carried back to the trainer's room. At that time, he was due to undergo an MRI to determine the extent of his injury. WWE published an update on Ryder's injury, quoting company doctor Chris Robinson, who issued a statement on what may have happened during the number one contender battle royal. And I quote, this is from Chris Robinson, WWE medical staff. We think he injured his kneecap or his patella. We think it popped out and then popped back in, so we're just going to do an MRI to make sure that there is no cartilage damage or some tendon tearing, stuff like that. Hopefully there's not, and it'll be shorter rehab period for Zack Ryder. If there is, there's a different road we might have to go down, and that may take longer to get him to recover. Unfortunately, it looks like the knee injury is severe enough to require surgery, as Ryder confirmed this week via Twitter. Wrestling Inc. wrote Zack Ryder's surgery will take place this week in Birmingham, Alabama. But with this surgery presumably eliminating the Hype Bros from the number one contendership, it isn't sure who the Wyatt family will face for the next time on SmackDown Live for the Tag Team Championships. It isn't sure either how long Ryder will be out, but as is often the case when it comes to these surgeries, the 31-year-old veteran may be out for several months as he recovers. I'm hearing 6 to 8 months for Zack Ryder. So that is a huge blow, not only to him, but that's a huge blow to SmackDown's roster. Now, with something like this, Mojo is going to be stuck doing nothing, and we can barely stand Mojo as it is. The only way we actually looked at Mojo was a tag team guy. I do not see him as a singles guy at all. I'm not a fan of Mojo. I'm a fan of Mojo when he's with Zack. I'm a fan of the Hype Bros. I think they are a great team together when they do gel. But now, what's Mojo Rawley going to do? Also, on top of that, it's really, really going to highlight the lack of depth in the SmackDown tag team division. This is going to sting. And now, instead of jobbing out the Vaudevillains and jobbing out the Ascension and jobbing out Breezango, you're going to have to give me quality matches with these guys. You're going to have to build these guys up because there is nobody else on the roster right now that's going to pick up the slack. Instead of embarrassing teams like you usually do, it's time to start utilizing your talent, which is very good to begin with. So start giving me a Vaudevillains. Start giving me an Ascension. Start giving me a Breezango. The Usos are out with injury right now. Who knows when they're going to be back? See, this is what happens when SmackDown and Raw want to split the divisions up. What divisions are there now? There really is no divisions. As of right now, the Wyatt family, they got nobody to fucking go against. Everybody is so beneath them right now. There's not really one team that stands out. Yeah, you got American Alpha, but you're not going to go with that program right away. That's a thing that you let marinate for a little bit, and then you go to it. Have them run through a few teams here and there and build up American Alpha as true contenders for the championship, a true threat to the Wyatt family. How are you going to do that now? You're going to go right to the American Alpha because they're the only ones that you got, star-wise, legit-wise? This is a huge blow, not only to Zack Ryder and Mojo, but SmackDown in itself. And the lack of depth will certainly rear its ugly head. The news of Zack Ryder receiving surgery marks a sad end to what has been an otherwise productive year for Zack Ryder. Having made his official WWE debut in 2007 with Kurt Hawkins as the Major Brothers, Ryder's been a reliable lower mid-card wrestler for the company, but by the start of 2016, he was stuck in a jobber role, barely appearing on WWE's main programs and spending a lot of time in NXT with Mojo Rawley, where they first competed as the Hype Bros. But this changed when Zack unexpectedly won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 32, which made no sense whatsoever, establishing him as an underdog success story, and it made no sense because WWE didn't go anywhere with it. It was a waste of everybody's time. The success story lasted just one day, as Ryder dropped the belt right back to The Miz on the following night's episode of Monday Night Raw. But Zack had become relevant again thanks to his upset victory at WrestleMania, and when the July 2016 brand split took effect, he and fresh NXT call-up Mojo Rawley resumed their Hype Bros partnership, emerging as one of SmackDown Live's more successful tag teams. Although the Hype Bros had mostly won against lower card tag teams like the Ascension, the Vaudevillains, and the Fashion Police, aka Breezango, their victory at Tuesday night's #1 contender Battle Royal was a clear sign that WWE still had some plans for Ryder in particular, beyond the enhancement talent role he mostly played from 2012 to 2015. With Zack Ryder undergoing surgery, it remains to be seen whether or not he will be able to recover the momentum he regained in 2016. But based on his recent tweet, it looks like he is determined as ever to come back strong and keep on proving that WrestleMania 32 was the start of better things to come for Mr. Long Island, Iced Z. This is a bad story, man. I hope Zack Ryder nothing but the best. I hope he gets back. I want to see the Hype Bros back on SmackDown Live. Who knows what's going to happen and if there's going to be another draft while he's away. I don't know what's going to happen here, but SmackDown might look vastly different when the Hype Bros are reunited in 2017. I just don't like that this exposes the depth of SmackDown's tag team division right now. One or two teams injured, that's a big deal, bro, because there wasn't a lot to begin with, and the lack of depth is always something I complained about, and you guys know that. I don't know what's going to happen with the tag team division. It sucks on Raw. Right now on SmackDown, and they're looking too hot. WWE has to make sure they are right where they... WWE needs to have plans here. They need to do something, because going into 2017 with this lack of depth, I don't know how you're going to get past it, man. I really don't. And it starts with building up your other teams. Ascension, Vaudevillains, Breezango. You got to start utilizing these teams better and make them a threat. Because when a team goes down, you automatically got someone else waiting and willing to take that spot. Right now, nobody cares about those other three teams because of what you've done. You've damaged them to the point and embarrassed them to the point where nobody cares. So this is WWE's doing. This is WWE's fault. And when something like this goes down, you know, it should be easy to just pick up right back where they left off. But no, it really exposes the lack of depth in WWE's tag team division. Major update on Paige and her status following her wellness policy suspension coming to an end. A new update on Paige's WWE status suggests that the women's wrestler will be back on the road soon, with her recent wellness policy suspension just having ended. It's been months since wrestling fans have last seen Paige in action, known for winning what was then the WWE Divas Championship. On her first night as a main roster talent, Paige had quickly become one of the leading female competitors in WWE, with memorable feuds against the likes of AJ Lee, Nikki Bella, Charlotte Flair. But it was in the latter feud against Charlotte where her descent down the card had started. And I miss the old Paige, man. Remember when Paige came out and beat AJ Lee? We were all fucking excited for her debut. She was great. She was that anti-diva, you know? And then all of a sudden she turned into the total diva, and her image was just completely ruined in a lot of people's eyes. You know, she's just not the same anymore. She didn't feel it. You've seen her mannerisms on TV. You've seen the way she was moving in the ring. She just wasn't feeling it. I don't know what's going on there or what was going on there at the time. Maybe she was upset with creative about how they were booking her. I don't know. But all in all, the noticeability of fucking Paige when she first debuted to the Paige we seen just months ago is vastly different. Very, very noticeable, man. So something happened there. Del Rio obviously is to blame for some of what happened later on, but whatever happened, when Total Divas started, they fucked up Paige completely. And I think it's that you took her out of her element. You know, everybody wants to be a fucking diva. Everybody wants to be in the limelight. That's not the way you want to be presented, you know? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be a WWE wrestler. You know? You want to be like the Sashas and the Charlottes and the Beckys. WWE's gone so far away from that with the Total Bellas thing, with the Total Divas thing, that they're pushing wrestlers like Sasha and Charlotte and Becky and Alexa down our throats now, you know? This is the new wave of women's wrestling in WWE, and Paige was a part of that. Now, they took her out of that. She's one of those old guard, those old divas. And WWE really isn't pushing for anything like that on television at all. So they took Paige out of this entire equation when she should have been in it from the very beginning. So who knows what's going on? If I was her, I would feel left out. I would feel like this isn't me either. My heart wouldn't be in it because this isn't who I am. You started me off as something that I loved and the excitement was there and everybody fucking couldn't wait to see me. And the energy was there every time she made her way to the ring. All of that just slowly disappeared over time. And it's just very noticeable. It really is just very noticeable. Since the start of the year, Paige hasn't been a serious contender in WWE's women's title picture at all. She hasn't competed either since July 2016 and the brand split, where she was selected by the Raw brand. And while this was eventually attributed to the injuries she had, the English wrestler had missed time as well after she and real-life boyfriend Alberto Del Rio incurred their first wellness policy violation in August. That was nothing, though, to the challenges she faced in the coming months, as she underwent neck surgery in September and served, I should say, a second wellness policy suspension starting in October, this time lasting 60 days. It didn't help either that Alberto Del Rio had left the WWE in September after months of frustration with his creative direction. They promised him things that just never happened, and they just completely fucked him over in bullshit storylines. They put the U.S. title on him, meaningless feuds with Kalisto, the League of Nations. They did absolutely nothing with him. And this is a Del Rio that was hitting he was fucking hitting his strides in Lucha Underground, in CMML, all these other fucking promotions down in Mexico. Del Rio, believe it or not, was one of the hottest things in independent wrestling. And when WWE seen that, they wanted him back. They brought him back. We seen him, at the end of the year. He beat John Cena in 10 fucking minutes, clean, for the U.S. title. He looked in phenomenal shape. Then they put him with Zeb Coulter. Right there. Down into the fucking dumps. He never recovered after that. They were gonna put him with Paul Heyman. They were gonna give him a world title run. None of this ever happened. Why? He had a falling out with Triple H. It was just a complete disaster bringing Del Rio back. And we're not going to see Del Rio ever again in WWE. This was the last time. He's very appreciative of what Vince McMahon has done for him over the years. But it's always been reported that he and Triple H had a falling out. And how you go from being the hottest commodity in indie wrestling to a joke in 6 months. It's just unbelievable. It's like WWE is completely fucking clueless in how to book talent. I mean, if you're not Roman Reigns or John Cena or, Seth Rollins, give me a fucking break. These guys they bring in and they don't do anything with. Del Rio should have been on Smackdown. He should have been a world title. He should have been a world title contender. And he didn't want it anymore. He didn't want it. Fans didn't care. Fans came out, sat, watched him wrestle. They didn't give a shit about anything Del Rio because of what WWE has done. The damage was done to Del Rio. It was worse than his first go around. Nobody cared. So they both lasted 60. She lasted 60 days. Del Rio left the company, creative direction. He was frustrated. That led to speculation that Paige would also leave WWE, but as Fox Sports documented, she assured her fans that she will be staying with the company, where she had become the youngest Divas champion on the night of her main roster debut. With Paige's second suspension over, many have wondered when she would return to the WWE, considering now of her recent neck surgery that she had just gone through, to potentially miss 6 to 9 months of action. And according to WrestleZone.com, there is bad news that she might not be back anytime soon. The good news, though, per PW Insider, is that she may be back on the road in due time. So she might not be back in the ring at all soon, but she will be back on the road with WWE. They quote, "She is cleared from her suspension, but is not cleared to return to the company to wrestle following her neck surgery. We heard that last week the company had expected her back on the road shortly." Daily Wrestling News also notes that Paige's transition back to WWE action may include more segments for Total Divas, where her relationship with Alberto Del Rio has become a key part of the reality series. Obviously, this should bode well for Paige as she draws closer to recovery from surgery. But as we've seen recently, WWE tends to tread lightly these days when it comes to superstars returning from injury. One case in point is Emma, the wrestler formerly known as Emma, now Emmalina, who missed significant time due to back surgery. For several weeks, Raw viewers have been seeing weekly vignettes promoting Emmalina's repackaging and promising of her imminent re-debut. But WWE appears to be taking their time in bringing her back to the ring. According to WrestlingInc.com, she may be returning to TV sometime after WWE's Roadblock pay-per-view on December 18th. The same publication wrote in mid-September that Emma was actually cleared to wrestle 6 weeks before the report, which means it really does take a while at times for wrestlers to return to TV after receiving clearance. So when will Paige's WWE return take place? Given all that we know, and given the last update on her status, nobody knows for sure, but based on PWI's report, it does look like she is making good time in her recovery from neck surgery and may be back sooner than what was once expected. They will certainly need her in 2017, and it's going to be a welcome sight, certainly, to Monday Night Raw. I wish her the best. Hopefully she comes back. I have been one of those people that have been very outspoken about the lack of depth for both Raw and Smackdown concerning the tag team and the women's division. I've been very vocal about Monday Night Raw shoving Charlotte and Sasha down our throats all year because they, for one, they don't want to push any other woman. 2, they have nobody else that people want to see. 3, they just don't know what direction they want to go. They don't know how to book women's wrestling in WWE. And they're trying to get it over. They're trying to get the concept of women's wrestling over by using 2 instead of using the full 6 that you have. It's a shame. Paige coming back, I hope that she's good to go. I hope she is 100% ready when she's ready to return. And I hope she makes a huge splash in what is, right now, a completely watered down, dull, stale, and repetitive women's division on Monday Night Raw. Sasha and Charlotte is not the feud of the year. Sasha and Charlotte may have had great matches here and there, but the entire feud has been a wash. The entire feud has been nothing but WWE forcing something upon us that they deem important and we see as nothing but a joke. Hell in a Cells, now a 30-minute Iron Man match, trading the title back and forth as if no other woman exists in the division. All of this builds up and now is becoming frustrating for the viewer. So when you hear that Paige had neck surgery, WWE is going to bring Paige back to the road, they expect her back with the company, this is something that we can get excited about because it's a big name. She's got the fucking talent. She's got the name recognition in WWE to just make a huge splash. And the fact that Paige inserted into a Sasha feud, a Charlotte feud, a Bayley feud, those are things that we would welcome with open arms because it's going to offer a freshness and a difference to Monday Night Raw that we're not seeing. So I can't wait for Paige to get back, and hopefully she's ready to go 100% in 2017 when she is medically cleared. Chris Hero, someone who I didn't know at all why got fired from WWE. They fired him because he was not really in the shape that they had desired. He was not to their liking. They felt like he wasn't taking it serious. They felt like he, as far as his appearance, was not keeping up to what they wanted. But then again, you look at Bo Dallas. Why is Bo Dallas on WWE television? Or what at least was, you know? Why did Bo Dallas change his ring gear? To hide his fucking overwhelming gut. Kevin Owens is a big man, right? Kevin Owens is a big guy who's gotten flack for his fucking weight at every twist and turn. From Kevin Dunn, from fucking Vince McMahon, from the fans, inside jokes, whether it's coming from a Randy Orton or anybody. It's always been mentioned. You know, when Kevin Owens was there and on the up and up, they always mentioned his weight. Bray Wyatt's another one. Bray Wyatt looks fantastic. Look at Bray Wyatt. People still tell me now Bray Wyatt's fat and out of shape. You must be watching the wrong fucking Bray Wyatt. I don't see no fat on Bray Wyatt. I see someone who's fucking muscular, built, and is ready to fucking kick your teeth down your throat. Same thing with Kevin Owens. Those are the types of guys I see, and those are the types of guys I envision as pro wrestlers. Okay? Chris Hero should have never even been released from WWE. Now he's back. And WWE, the only reason why they're bringing in Chris Hero right now is because they know they need talent. Whoever is a free agent, they're scooping up. Whether they fired them previously on a previous stint, they don't care. They're throwing that rule book out the window, man. Chris Hero's being brought back, and they're bringing these guys back now because they know they need talent. They need to replenish the main rosters. They need to replenish NXT. Chris Hero is about 36, 37 years old. He is a veteran. He is well-traveled. So WWE knows they got a good hand in their company now, whether they like it or not. And the only reason, like I said, they're bringing him back is because they know they are desperate and they need talent for NXT and they need talent for the main roster. Independent wrestler Chris Hero made rounds all over social media this week when it was reported that he would be heading back to WWE. But how true was this report? Keep in mind, Hero was involved with WWE in the past and was used in the early days of NXT as Cassius Ohno. They would end up releasing him for reasons other than his skill in the ring or mic work, as he had both in spades. The reason for cutting him had to do with his look. Shallow-ass motherfuckers in WWE, man. Probably a Kevin Dunn decision. He began to noticeably gain weight, and WWE felt that this was due to a lack of proper diet skills and, of course, lack of exercise outside the ring. They warned him on multiple occasions to fix the problem, even offering dietary tips and basically giving him every opportunity to shape up before they let him go. He decided to continue doing the same thing, so WWE had no choice but to release the popular indie star. This led to a lot of hate online, but when people found out why Chris Hero was let go, many quickly turned their opinion around and claimed WWE did the right thing. Now, I don't remember what he looked like. If I seen pictures of what he looked like, maybe I would be with everybody else that turned their opinion around. But, you know, maybe this was something that needed to happen. But WWE, I mean, they got guys on the roster now that really don't look the part either. So I just felt like it was a rash decision on WWE's part. Maybe Chris Hero didn't want to be there right then and there at that moment. I don't know. But now he's back. Maybe this time he takes it a little bit more seriously, being that, you know, he sees what is going on with NXT and he knows he's got a fucking huge opportunity to be a huge name. So maybe he didn't know what he had back then, and now he knows, and he's going to take the proper steps to get himself and keep himself in the best possible shape while in WWE. So people thought that WWE did the right thing. When you want someone over and over and over again and they disrespect your wishes as a boss, you really have no choice. That I don't blame. That I don't blame them on at all. The question is, why would they want to hire Hero back now? It's for the reasons I gave you. They're desperate. They know they need talent. Anybody with an expiring contract, no matter if they've been in the company or not, whether they were well-liked or not, for the reasons that they were released or not, it doesn't matter. He's a talent. He's a great talent. People know what this guy's capable of. WWE's going to give him a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance, right? So there you go. Chris Hero is now much heavier than he was when he was in WWE. Again, I haven't seen him. I don't watch Ring of Honor, so I don't know. All right. Returning, he's much heavier now than he was originally in the WWE, and now he's returning to the company. He can still wrestle relatively well, but he does not look in shape at all, and the look he had when he was released was actually far superior than the one he has now. Many believe the reason for WWE's interest has mostly to do with wanting to take over the independent world. There you go. Of course, all of the speculation behind Chris Hero returning was just only a rumor. Although first reported by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, it was not certain that Hero would be hired back because he obviously had to pass medical testing. Now, according to Cage Side Seats, we know Chris Hero has, in fact, all WWE medical testing. This means that a WWE return seems as if it could happen at any point, and it would not be shocking to see WWE bring him back on their next set of WWE NXT tapings, which won't be seen by WWE fans until at least the first of the year. Despite his incredible weight gain since he was with WWE last, Chris Hero does have an ability to go in the ring. WWE knows his weight was not hurt, his weight has not hurt that part of the game immensely, although it did affect it some because size does change that to people. WWE may also think that they can bring him in and help him lose the weight he gained over time as well. Many who know they would join WWE were told to lose weight before they came in and did just that. Both Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe lost significant weight, and although they remained a big size, it was a healthy size. Joe is another one. Joe looks fucking fantastic. Joe is not fat. Joe is a monster, and he looks great. Kevin Owens looks great. Bray Wyatt looks great. They're all in great shape. Maybe the same will happen with Chris Hero, which would be an interesting turn of events. Want us to wonder, too, if they will keep his name or have him return to his old one that he used in WWE before, which was Cassius Ohno. The name was basically a gimmick, as his notable elbow finisher would knock people out. With him having KO in the initials, it made a lot of sense to go with. However, WWE now is Kevin Owens, who uses the KO moniker. That said, there's a good possibility that WWE will have Chris Hero return with his name intact, rather than have him return under his old, former WWE name. I never liked the name Cassius Ohno. I didn't mind it, but now, obviously with the Kevin Owens, KO similarities, keep him as Chris Hero. You know, you bring these guys in, have them compete under the name that got them big. I understand WWE wants to own all their intellectual properties, but it comes to a point where, you know, I understand why they do it, and then also sometimes it makes sense for guys to keep their name. You know, you're not going to change Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, you're not going to change a guy like, I understood Kevin Owens. You're not going to change a guy like Samoa Joe. Who the fuck are you going to rename Samoa Joe? It would be stupid. It's silly. You know? Finn Balor, I didn't like the name Finn Balor at all. I even talked about that on Off the Script way back when. Now, obviously, you know, you look back, Prince Devitt Jr., Finn Balor. Finn Balor is so much more marketable to WWE. He's got the whole gimmick going on, the whole meaning behind it. It's fucking great. So certain things like that, I didn't mind. You know, they changed Kenta's name to Hideo Itami. That I didn't mind either. As long as it's okay and makes sense. Cassius Ohno, I didn't mind it, but now with the Kevin Owens similarities, KO, just keep him as Chris Hero. Sometimes it does make sense to change the names. Also, on the same hand, it makes sense to just have them come in and be themselves. This is one of those cases with Chris Hero. Can't wait to see him return, man. I didn't get an opportunity to see him work in NXT. Now, with NXT the way it is right now and the way NXT is just moving forward in the future, can't wait to see what Chris Hero does and brings to NXT. Chyna, cause of death revealed. We all kind of knew what it was, but now it's finally revealed, and I believe Pro Wrestling Sheet and Ryan Satin, made this an exclusive story to them. They were the first to report this that I've seen, and other stories and other sites picked up on this. Former WWE superstar Chyna died back in April 2016 at the age of 46. The autopsy results were finally released, and Pro Wrestling Sheet reported that the official Chyna cause of death was accidental death caused by drugs and alcohol. The information was revealed by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner. The original reports from ESPN signaled the same findings. The sports website said that it was believed that Chyna's cause of death was due to drugs. Police in Southern California received a 911 call, said that Chyna was dead when they arrived. The investigators at the time said that there was no suspected foul play involved. Chyna had been acting strangely in the weeks prior to her death. She posted numerous videos on YouTube that made it seem something was not right. Those close to her also said she became more reclusive and was drinking more than usual. Through her life, Chyna also struggled with many addiction problems. She previously dated Triple H when she was with the WWE and ended up dating Sean Waltman, X-Pac. It was when she was with Waltman that Chyna started experimenting with drugs. Now, after Chyna left WWE, she ended up working in the porn industry for Vivid Entertainment, including a homemade porn with X-Pac called One Night in Chyna. She tried for a more mainstream acting career but could never get it off the ground. Chyna appeared on reality television shows The Surreal Life, Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, and much of the appeal for WWE fans was her lapse into alcohol and drug dependence. It was a battle that she never was able to beat, as the official Chyna cause of death proves. Several reports noted that Anthony Anzaldo, the manager of Chyna, has agreed to have her brain donated to study possible effects of CTE damage caused through both years of wrestling in the WWE, as well as the drug and alcohol abuse. Dr. Bennett Omalu, the pathologist who the movie Concussion was all about, will get the brain. The results of the study of Chyna's brain will also possibly be brought into consideration when it comes to the lawsuits against WWE by dozens of former superstars. According to Anzaldo, he wants to know if the addiction problems and suicide were a result of possible brain damage. The Chyna cause of death is not the only news to come out recently when it comes to former WWE superstar. Mick Foley posted a long post on Facebook about Chyna last week. In the post, the WWE Hall of Famer said that he wants to help Chyna's mother gain control of her daughter's estate. Mick Foley said that he spoke to her mom, and even though she had been estranged from Chyna for years, the two had made peace and grew closer at the end of the late star's life. I quote, "Joni's mom is attempting to gain control over her daughter's estate, but is trying to do it on a very limited budget, and the legal costs are more than she can handle. Don't be fooled by the word estate. There is not a lot of money left, if any. But Chyna's mom is attempting to do the right thing by allowing whatever personal effects she did leave behind to stay with the family and not with her manager, so that her family may finally be at peace with her loss." Mick Foley then left a link to where fans can help fund her battle for the estate of Chyna. It is a nice move by the WWE Hall of Famer, despite the less than joyful news of the Chyna cause of death this week. I remember when Joe and I were live on Out of Nowhere, and it was probably the biggest Out of Nowhere ever. And we were talking about it. We went into the fucking late hours of the morning. News broke. We were reading people's tweets. We were reading news articles. We couldn't believe it. And we were all having a fun, just loving just being out there and wild and crazy and just being ourselves. And all of a sudden we get wind of this news, and the entire vibe of the show changed. And a lot of people came to us saying that that they respected the way Joe and I handled the situation. Man, I loved what Chyna did for the business. But drugs and alcohol, man, that right there, we kind of knew what was going on. I feel sad that, it really did come down to that. I would not be against the cause of death as well, being a broken heart leading to all this. It just drives people to do things that are not right, and it caught up to her, and she was 46, man, 46 years old. Another one just gone way too soon, but what are you going to do? Now everybody now is crying for Hall of Fame. Triple H has made mention of it, saying that, Chyna's legacy and her death is not really going to have an effect on whether she goes in or not. She's going in. And he gave the politically correct answer this week, saying that, listen, we're hearing everybody. We understand that people want Chyna in the Hall of Fame. What she did for this industry is never going to go, it's never going to be something that people are going to forget. They're always going to remember what Chyna did for not only the WWE, but for women's wrestling and this industry. Her death is not going to have any effect on that. But the politically correct answer he gave is that she's got to now wait in line. There's a bunch of other people that they've got, for the Hall of Fame in mind. So just like everybody else, just like you waiting in line at the grocery store, you got to wait behind everybody else that WWE has already considered. It's going to happen. But it should have happened already, is what everybody's trying to say. Same thing with Vader. People are crying for Vader to go into the Hall of Fame, being that the news of him broke a couple of weeks ago that doctors only told him he has 2 months to 2 years to live. And he actually tweeted out recently that the news that he originally got might have been completely wrong, which I'm hoping. And now Vader's on DDP yoga, or at least is trying to lose the weight through DDP. So all this is great. But people are crying that Chyna should have been in the Hall of Fame. I agree with them. Just like Savage should have been in the Hall of Fame. Just like Owen Hart should be in the Hall of Fame already. Chyna will be in the Hall of Fame. It's just WWE is going to do what they want to do with that. But Chyna's cause of death revealed. Accidental death caused by drugs and alcohol. That was the latest today on Off the Script. And this week revealed by Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet. Thank you guys so much for Off the Script, man. I am I'm not feeling good, man. I can't get through this without fucking, not feeling good. I barely got through this really right now, and I want to get this to you guys because, number one, you expect it. Number two, you deserve it. Number three, I haven't missed a fucking off the script episode yet. I don't give a shit if I'm fucking laying here with fucking shit through my nose and my veins and I'm fucking sitting in a wheelchair. I'm going to give you off the script, okay? Never missed one goddamn fucking off the script. I'm not going to have it happen this week due to a fucking sore throat and some pussy-ass fucking head cold. No, fuck that. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm completely not myself, man. I'm all fucking, dizzy and I'm fucking seeing shit. I'm on medication right now. So I'm lucky I got through this. I'm fucking dripping sweat. Don't feel good, man. So I'm going to lay back down. I'm going to relax before I got to head to Queens today to go be the voice of the Great War. Hopefully I'm okay by then. I'll grab some soup along the way and just relax. So I hope you guys still enjoyed Off the Script. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Like I said, man, hit that thumbs up. It turns a strange color when you do. So check it out, man. It's amazing. You're not going to believe it. It changes color. Seriously. You got to see it to believe it, man. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you right back here for Off the Script Part 3 on Sunday morning as we head towards Roadblock. Hopefully I feel a little bit better. Follow me on Twitter, @JD from NY206. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you hit all notifications and check your notification tabs on YouTube to make sure that I did upload something. And, patreon.com/JD from NY206 if you guys want to pledge. Thank you to everybody that has pledged this week. Greatly appreciate it. Barbershopwindow.com for all your Off the Script merchandise. Just type in Off the Script in the search bar. JD's Negan, Dana Brooke, Get Off My TV, Roman Reigns, Big Show, Eva Marie, Goon City, $19.99. They ship worldwide. No matter where you are, you're going to get your t-shirt, man. So that's barbershopwindow.com. And like I said, man, I'll be back on Sunday with more Off the Script. Hopefully I feel a little bit better. But until then, I'm JD. Enjoy your days. For those who are going to be out and about in Queens at this House of Glory show for the Great War, I will be there. Come up and say hello to me. Shake my hand. We'll talk. We'll drink a beer or something. Whatever the case may be. Hoping to see some of you guys out there. Until then, I'm JD, and I'll see you right back here on Sunday for more Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.